seminar of this Sunday here at the Dutch Pinball Open Expo. The next seminar is going to be hosted by Jaap Nauto from Dutch Pinball, who have developed a Big Lebowski pinball machine, took that into production and ran into some difficulties, and it looks like they're back into production, but Jaap is the best person to talk about that, so he will give you the latest update on the current situation and a lot more. Right?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Can I get a hand?
Oh, thank you.
Didn't say a word already, a hand. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My name is Jaap Nauto. My companion is Barry. He's sitting over there. So when you have difficult questions, Barry will jump in, and when it's easy questions, I will try to reply. So today we would like to talk to you about the usual update, of course, because people who are following us, they know, but there's a lot going on. We'll talk a little bit about the new PCBs that we have, and the new contract manufacturer, and of course there's always room for questions and answers. So this is a little bit of the agenda. I hope you will like it. First of all, I'd like to apologize for speaking in English to all the Dutch people, because I was hoping I could do finally a presentation in Dutch, because this is the Netherlands. But there was a request to do it in English. When you do this in the US, I'm always very surprised how smooth the Americans can present. And I speak English, but not as good as those guys. And they can make it so subtle and so nice and so smooth. So sorry, it's not that slick, but I'll do my best. In Dutch, I would be very, very cool. Okie dokie. What's the story today? This is the third presentation I do this year. First one was in February in Dallas on the Texas Pinball Festival. Second was a few weeks ago at Chicago Expo, and this is the third one. And I start every seminar or every talk that I do with what everybody wants to hear. And I don't have the answer to that, because everybody wants to hear, when will I get my Lebowski? And that I don't know. I already said that since February. In February I said, yeah, we don't know, because we don't have a contract manufacturer. At Chicago Expo I could say, we have a new contract manufacturer. And today I can say, we have the first machine from our contract manufacturer, because the machine that's in the expo room is made by Cytec.
Which one?
The one on the right. Yeah, you can't tell the difference. And that was also one of the questions that we had. Are you sure about the quality? And we said, well, we have the same specifications, so yes, they should be exactly the same. But I'll come back to that. But it's the one on the right. Did you know that, or you guessed, or?
I didn't know, but I was indeed trying to look if there were any differences, but the only thing I found is that the log bar seems a little bit more white on the right one. But yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Everybody can hear the comment, by the way, because okay, because you couldn't tell any difference, only that the log bar was a little bit wide, and that is because there is 4mm mistake in the cabinet that we found out as soon as it arrived. It's 4mm on all sides. We already gave that feedback to the contract manufacturer, and they will change it. That's why we will always make a sample first. But very well. This is good news, because then it means that the machine is very good if you can't tell the difference, because the quality was good and it still is good and it will be perfect. That's what we want. What we did is we explained every situation that we had a conflict with a contract manufacturer, that then you can do two things. Find a new one, or give up. And we won't give up. We just don't. And in February, people said, yeah. And then I said, yeah, but I fly all the way to Dallas. What do you think, why? Just to explain why. So we try to give explanations. And the thing was, we learn every day. I was in Dallas, and an early achiever came up to me and said, Jaap, I'm happy to see you, but I didn't hear from you for 2 months. And I am worried. I said, I understand, man, but I don't have any news. Yeah, but I want to hear from you. Yeah, but I don't have any news. I I want to hear from you. I said, yeah, what do you want? You want me to shoot you an email? And it says, hey, nice to see you, I don't have news. Best regards. Yeah. He said, yes. And I thought, yeah, but why? Because then I know you're alive. And I realized that was a big lesson. We were thinking maybe Dutch. Well, if you don't have news, well, good news. That's a typical Dutch way to do. Geen nieuws, goed nieuws. It's a saying. And it just means no news, good news. But this guy, and I thank him very, very, very much, he taught me the lesson. No, if you don't, maybe you're gone. And then we started to do a weekly newsletter. And sometimes it was just an update, hey, yeah, we don't have news, but we're still working on it. And we got replies. Thanks, good job. Of course, people they want their Lebowski, but now they understand in which part of the process we are. So we will send the next newsletter. Hello, Stefan. I know the guy. We will send the next newsletter end of this week, I think, buddy, right? Yeah, because we will give the feedback of today's test and yesterday's test of the new Lebowski machine. So we inform everybody every week. So if you have tips for us, tell them please, because we want to learn and we want to do it better and better and better. So that was the newsletter. We also always mention our distributors, Cointaker and Nitro Amusements. These guys, they support from day one, and we thank them very much. They are very supportive, give us also tips and hints at everything. I was hoping Chris or Melissa would be here today, but unfortunately they couldn't, because they will test and evaluate the Cytec machine as well, the one on the right. Europe. We get questions, when will you sell in Europe? And we will, of course, sell the Lebowski in Europe too. But first we have to clean our mess. We have to clean up first, before we start selling extra. We don't want to sell because of money or sales. We know we have a great product, but we want to take one step at a time. Now we have to focus on Lebowski production, early achiever, they need their machine, they paid for it. We also will send new orders to the US. So no, it's not available in Europe yet, but it will be. We expect end of Q1 next year. But it's very, very dangerous to give a date, because people then say, oh, but you said Q1. From what I know today, we expect Q1. It's not a promise, no. We do our stinking best. That's also Dutch, by the way, stinking best. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah, if I may ask a question.
I hear voices. Yeah, you may ask a question.
If you're planning or hoping to start production for Europe in Q1, does that mean that
No,
you expect...
we start selling in Europe in Q1, but that's not delivering. We first deliver US, early achievers, and then we will start introducing Lebowski also in Europe.
Right.
I shouldn't have mentioned Q1, because I take that back. Because I know you remember everything.
I'm already writing a newsletter right now.
That's okay. Mr. Joosten, could you please give that microphone to somebody else? There are later questions and answer, but you can do it now. Why not?
What time are you delivering in the US then?
When will we deliver in the US? That was question number one. When will I get my Lebowski? And I don't have the answer to that. The planning is that we will evaluate this Lebowski first. But I will come to your question. It's later in the sheets. I know everybody wants to know it. That's why I put it on slide 1. So when we started to do this, I finished a project, wrote a book about life and death. Buddy just finished a project, it was 2013, and Buddy called me, he says, Jaap, we have to talk. I want to make a pinball machine with you, because we go back a long time, we know each other for 18, 19 years, and we know we can work together very well. And I said, man, pinball is a hobby. And then he said, go to the Dutch Pinball Open. And I entered the world of pinball. I loved always pinball as a kid. When I was 10, 11 years old, I played always with Jelle, my big brother, and we could play with 1/4 all afternoon. And we loved it. Then pinball disappeared from I didn't see it anymore. And I never realized that pinball was still alive. So 2013, I was, wow, it was great. And I recognized pinball machines and got enthusiastic, and then we started to talk about, and we realized there is room for a Lebowski pinball machine. And we said, well, we always have to have a dream. What do you want in life? Well, I have a son and a daughter, and they love their phone. And I recognize them from their head, because very often they just sit like this, and they communicate via WhatsApp with each other and with me. But when we play pinball, we stand in our kitchen, in our garage. I have a bride of pinball standing there. We talk, we have fun, we shout to each other, and they always say that I cheat. I do. That's fine. But at least we communicate and we have fun. And that's what we want. We want to bring fun to people, fun in the world, and people communicate with each other. If you look around yesterday, how I enjoyed myself so much, just talking to people, playing pinball. I played Alien against Helmut, and I won. What's up? I was so happy. It's just fun to play. I played Dialed In and I lost, by the way, today. It was a crappy game from me. But that's what we want. We want to bring fun to people. So we created Lebowski, great machine, people love it, and we had a contract manufacturer as a partner. Then the shit hits the fan, and we had a problem with our contract manufacturer. Then you can do two things. Give up, find a new one. We found a new one, and we are very happy with them, and also with the result that they made. So what do? You go with a new contract manufacturer and you say, okay, let's make a prototype. And they said, no, we don't need that because we already have a finished product. So you can skip step 1. Step 2, you need to have instructions how to mount and how to assemble everything. I said, well, we got them because I made them. We didn't get a lot of resources from our former contract manufacturer, so I made them. Buddy and me were every week, at least one day, in the factory to help building the first pinball machines. So we had everything. I took pictures. I wrote, oh, you have to screw this, screw that, screw that. I love to say that. No, you don't have to explain people how to copy, but you have to write assembly instructions, and that takes a lot of time. But we already had all that. We had all the drawings, because all the drawings were made by Buddy. So the guy said, from Cytec said, we have a quick startup, because we can skip a few phases. So no prototype, we start with engineering sample. So what happened? Buddy went together with Cor Hagens. Cor is the project manager of Cytec. They went to China, to the factory. And they stayed there for 1 week, and they taught the team how to manufacture, how to assemble the playfield, the cabinet, everything. And they finished one Lebowski. And they said, okay, we now go home. And you guys, here's all the paperwork, you make the second one yourself, without our help. So they flew back, and we received 8 days later the message, it's finished. We will ship it to you. That machine is now standing here upstairs. We unpacked it last week. We had to do some tweaking, of course, because it's pinball, it's their first machine, but we are very, very impressed. So, and then we said, okay, we can test it at the Dutch Pinball Open, because when you play a few games, that doesn't mean that your quality is also durable, that is also good, so you have to do an endurance test. When I play Lebowski, I know how I play. I know how Buddy plays. But you guys all play differently. So we get the best feedback if tons of people play in their own way our machine. So Monday morning we will read, Monday afternoon, we will open all the files and we can see how many balls I played, how many. And yesterday was for us, the first hour, I was nervous as hell, I tell you. Because I saw everybody standing on that machine and I thought, uh-oh. We tell nobody which machine is from Cytec. We did it with a reason, because otherwise people will find things. And now, after 1 hour, we realized this machine is good. It's holding. We don't have to, no ball hang-ups, no software failures, no. Wow. And in the afternoon, we were feeling better and better. And in the evening, we would start having a few beers. And it was great. Today, we came, there was only one small steckertje that we had to push in. Oh, what's that steckertje? That's a thingy. Oh, sorry? Connector. Yeah, I know. We had to one connector was just loose, and that's all. And I still had the keys in my pocket, and we didn't have to open the machine. So the durability is great. And I want to thank everybody who played on Lebowski for your input, because actually you're helping us with testing the machine. So for us, this is good news, and that will be, of course, in our next newsletter, the results of this endurance test. So that was a durability test, and we are very happy the way it went. Also with this, the new PCBs. You probably know that we had a main middle board which was huge, a very, very big one, in the old TBLs. And this was the time to change it, because we heard, especially from our friends Cointaker and Nitro, that it's for service much better to have smaller boards. So we designed new boards, and you find out 3 types of boards. The LED boards that are in the shape, a driver board just for the coils, and an I/O board with a P3 rock on it for all the switches. And the good thing is, there are a few advantages, is that it's easier to service in case something breaks or goes down. You don't have to replace a huge board, but just a small one. By the way, we have 0 failures on the 55 machines that are in the field with the big PCB. So they work good, but for future it's better. And the second advantage, we can reuse the boards for our second title and our third title. So for the future, this was for us the right thing to do, because we can use the driver boards, we can use the I/O boards also in our next titles. There's a question.
Just a simple question. You mentioned 55 machines in the world.
Yes.
Is that like the total amount of Big Lebowski pinball machines that there are?
At this moment, there are 55 machines in the field, and there are still a few machines boxed in our old manufacturer, but we don't do anything with them, and we have the license, so they can't do anything with it either. So they will be tossed away, and if somebody tries to sell it, they will hear probably from Universal in the US, and that's not a company you want to have after your ass, I think, for an infringement or something. And we are advised not to talk about our old manufacturer anymore, so I can't go into every details again, but we just move on with our new contract manufacturer.
Yeah,
Yeah?
one question. With all the boards, you design them yourselves, right? Like the driver boards for coils. Why don't you use the pinball controller boards?
Why don't we use the pinball controller boards?
Yeah.
Buddy will answer that later in the Q&A questions, because I don't know. He knows. Is that okay to
Yeah,
park
yeah.
it? Just park it
Yeah.
for now. Let me finish the story,
Yeah.
and then we do it in a Q&A session, okay? But I'll remember it. That was Dutch. Yes, I'm from the north, yeah? Yes, in Groningen, ja, meow. All right. So the new contract manufacturer is called Cytec Module Techniques. They're based in Venray, and the way we met was via LinkedIn. It's a bit strange because we were talking to VDL. VDL is a very big company, well known in the Netherlands, and they were about to make the bride. But then this guy called me and he said, "Yeah, I was advised by somebody to contact you." It was a guy in Maastricht. And he presented his company to me. And he said, this is what they are. Turnkey contract manufacturer for complex electromechanical submodules and systems. That's on their website as well. And then I said, what do you make? And he said, yeah, we make high-speed feeders, printing industry. And I looked and I said, well, if you can do that. I worked 6.5 years with Neopost. Neopost is manufacturer of folder inserters. It's paper handling. So I knew exactly what these guys were making. And then he says, yeah, and we build them in China. I said, man, the Chinaman's not the issue, but I don't think it's a good idea to do that. And he said, yeah, but no, you have good factories in China, you have bad factories in China. And we have a good one, trust me. And I said, yeah, but I want to know more. So he explained that the factory is Dutch. It is, the CEO reports to a guy in Venray, because that's the boss. And then his best argument, his best point was, do you have an iPhone? I said, no, but I know iPhones, of course. Yes, you know where they are assembled? And I looked at him, crap, this is in China. There's good stuff coming from China, also bad stuff. So we said, okay, let's talk again and again and again and again and again. And they really know their thing. They know how to do it. They're founded in 2005, so they're not new. And what they do is they look what's the best place to build this product. There are 3 places where they are. That's Tel Aviv, Venray and Suzhou, China. And this is the graph where they come in. So what we have to do is that part, and the rest is done by Cytec. And we fit together. We fit together like a hand in the glove. And I was very happy because we called VDL and we explained that we first have to finish Lebowski, because we will not sell a different title before we have solved the Lebowski issue. VDL understood and they said, okay, that's cool with us. We don't want to go into Lebowski because it was too complex, too big. And when I told them, well, I have a partner now, and they said, okay, go ahead with them. Maybe we will come back to you later, whatever. You never know where you will meet. But we chose Cytec because these guys were so enthusiastic and they really, really wanted to build it. So I took a few pictures from their factory. Those are the pictures from their website, by the way. And it's clean. Barry was there and he said it's not photoshopped, it really looks like this, it's not fake. And you see here, this is typically for paper handling, such as pulleys and all that. So yeah, for me it was coming back to an industry where I was a long time in. Just to give you an impression about it. And this is their wall of fame, and they already put Dutch Pinball in there, which is nice. By the way, these slides, they come from the presentation of Erwin. Erwin is the sales director who joined me to go to Chicago because he presented his own company in Chicago. So people knew it was not out of my glove or something. Yeah, hoe zeg je? I didn't make it up, but it was real. So you see Canon, OC, Hewlett and Packard. Well, that's a nice group that Dutch Pinball would like to be in, yeah. Because those are good companies, and these guys, they know what they do. So it was for us, it gave us a good feeling. We knew this is a good company. These are the pictures that were made building the first engineering sample. So these are made with Barry and Guus, who were in China, together with Cor. Now you see Barry emailing me probably and letting the others do the work, which is clever. Here Guus is working and Barry is looking at Guus working. No, it's always like that, yeah. And I just do the talking. That's a bit how it is. And just to give you an impression, on the picture on the right you see Cor in his light blue shirt. Cor was also here today, by the way. Maybe you met him. And that's the team who built the first one. And you see the big guys are from Europe and the smaller guys are local. But those 3 guys made engineering sample 2. And I'm bloody proud of them that they made it, because they really did a great job. And I'm very, very impressed what they did, and I'm 199% sure that they will make engineering sample 3, 4 and 5. Because that's where we are now with the planning. What we will do, we have now engineering sample 2 standing here. We evaluate. Durability test, send the feedback to China. Then Buddy goes again with Cor to China, talk to this team, plus a new guy. I heard there was a new guy hired. Good, all good. Then they will instruct them, look, this is how it has to be different, this has to be different, this has to be different, this, and now you make engineering 3. Then they fly back. They still have then 2 examples of the Lebowski, and they always can check. If they can't see it from the paperwork, you just go to Lebowski and you check what has to be done. And then when engineering sample 4 will be ready, that they made, they will ship it to us, and we will again inspect and see if it's good. If it's good, then we can give a go for the first production series. So on your question, when will you start production? We don't know exactly who asked it, but we don't know exactly. But this is the steps that we have to take. And we do it on advice of SciTech. They said if you go too quick, you take the risk to have, for instance, 20 machines in the field with 20 issues you have to solve. Let's just take this extra step just to make sure that these guys know exactly what to do before you start do it in a production run. But for your information, we already ordered 42 playfields with Mirko, and also the P-ropes are ordered. So we are 100% sure these guys can do it. Just the timing, how much time we need, it depends on how the evaluation goes and how much time they will need. So we expect end of December to have this 4th engineering sample. So beginning next year we can give a go. That's if everything goes well. There's a question.
Yes. So these 3 guys, possibly 4 guys, are building the engineering samples, but will they also be doing the production, or
Yes.
is that a bigger crew? Or
This will be the first, because if you do a new product, you always start slow, and then you ramp up your production. So the first week you make only 1 machine with the 3 or 4 people. The second week you can, how do you say that? You do the production process in several steps. And the first step is for the playfield, for instance, the slagmoeren, how do you call that?
We don't use them anymore.
T-nuts.
We don't use them anymore.
T-nuts that we used to have. that's the first step. Yeah, that's true. We hammered them in and now we screw them in. But everybody can do that. Ja, dit is toch schroeven? I say screw and a woman starts laughing. I already said sorry for my English. But so the first steps are easy because the playfield is empty and you just do the first 10 screws. But at the then the second will be more difficult, the third will be more difficult, and then the fourth, that's the final, that's the most difficult part. So probably these guys, they start doing all those 4 steps. Then 1 week later, we hire an extra guy. And that one was put on position 1 to do the easy work. If you can do that, then you can promote to the second. Then you can promote to the third. Well, this whole process about how to speed up and how to smoothen the production line, to get the flow, that's something that will be done by Barry and Cor in China mid-December. I think you fly 3 or 4 December, I think. December 3rd. Yeah. So this group will grow. And this is exactly how it also went with our former contract manufacturer, I must say. Because we knew this is the way how a production line is set up. And it takes time. You have to, if you put all 20 people in one go, you know you will create 20 problems. Just do it step by step. It's better. So, that was in fact the update, the PCBs, the planning. And yeah, my next point is, do you have any questions? There was one from you about the boards, Buddy. So yeah, I don't know. You answer, he says. Nou, Buddy, het werkt niet, joh. Oh, you guess
Hello,
so.
hello. Yeah, the question was why don't we use the boards from multimorphic?
Yeah, or whatever, you know.
Yeah, well, there are multiple reasons. Of course, there are financial reasons, and there is another reason we are engineers ourselves, and we think we can do things better than other engineers. And we also wanted to have maximum flexibility in the board. So they use driver boards with 16 ports, and we thought it was too much to place them all over the playfield. And now, and there's also one thing: if we would have used his boards, there would have been like 7 switch boards, and like 3 driver boards, and that was a bit too much. And now we have just one I/O board which serves all switches. That's basically it. Real estate.
I think it's a great answer. And he's nodding, so you're happy.
I'm not an engineer. You think everybody's making their own system.
Yeah.
I can understand why, but I'm still using a P3 rod. So I could imagine maybe for the first machine you would go with the.
We did use it for the first prototypes.
Okay.
And if you can see the amount of cables beneath the playfield, you immediately understand why we switched to another system. Because when I asked Gary this question, he told me as well. He asked me this question as well, and I gave him the same answer. And I said, well, just show me a playfield with all P-Rock boards, which has a nice cable layout, and he couldn't show me. So.
It was a wise decision. Any more questions?
What do you plan to add to the software?
Plans to add software or to work on the software? Yes, we are. There will be a software update soon, and that will have also the ability to go live. So live scoring on Lebowski, so you can have your scores and everything on the web. You can, with your phone, you can just check your scores or see the high scores, put in profiles, etc. And there will be also some new rules. There will be some extra features. And the goal is when we ship, we want to have version 1.0. So yes, there will be an update, and yes, it will be backwards compatible with all Lebowskis. So also the 55 in the field, and also the new ones. It will run on the same software. And by the way, if there is an issue with one of the boards from the 55 machines, it is possible to replace them with the new set of boards. But we advise not to do it up front, because why should you repair something that's not broken? But we designed it like that, so also the 55 are supported by us. So, sounds good. It's good. Any more questions? Yeah, ga je gang.
Nitro and Contact are distributors from North America or for Canada.
Correct.
Are you staying in contact with a European distributor if you try to plan for it for the one in 2008?
Yeah. Yes, we have been talking to several potential distributors, but we didn't sign anything, but we just said, okay, we want to talk and to see how the distributor thinks about Lebowski, about his service, and you have to just meet people and talk to each other. So Skype has been pretty busy, and we will come with a European distributorship soon. So yes, we're talking to people, and it's great to hear that people are so enthusiastic about it. Even also here today, I got a business card from somebody. When I can buy it, call me. I said, yeah, but what? No, but you don't know the price. I don't care. I love to hear that. Any more questions? Yeah.
When you originally started selling it, it was promised that it was limited to 300 or something like that?
It wasn't promised.
It was mentioned?
But it was mentioned that our first series would be 300,
Yeah.
and our first series now will be 330. So we still aim for this amount, but it's not a limited edition for 300. There's only the Achiever edition. That one is limited to 185. But those are the early achievers, and we owe these people really. So they get the special machine. Any more questions? Van dichtbij.
As an early achiever, what will be the difference between those games and the games following?
Will be a surprise. We're still deciding on it. there will be something special.
So, but does that mean, are you considering taking stuff out of the game?
No, we're not taking anything out of the game. No, the machine as you see upstairs, that's Lebowski, the way Lebowski is. We will not have, but there will be something extra, a surprise for the early achievers.
No, the carpet is included in every game. So.
Don't give it away. Maybe you got ideas. You can send it to jaap@dutchpinball.com.
What?
Any more questions?
I can get you too.
I can get you to. That's no problem.
Last year it was mentioned the Bride of Pinball 25th anniversary edition. Is it still going to be made, or is this over?
It is in our plan to make it,
But it will be 30th edition.
it's no. That's
7.5.
it was designed in 2015. It was the 25th anniversary edition, so we designed it on time. We have also the license from PPS, and the prototype is ready, in fact. But we realized that this was not the way to go. We learned it because people just told us, "Hey man, I really trust you guys, but first finish Lebowski." And then we said, that's fair, and that's also true. So we said, okay, we focus on Lebowski alone, and the rest goes into the fridge. Because we have a lot of more ideas, but we put everything in the fridge. First things first, and that's Lebowski.
But the rescue idea is the same. You sell more machines to finance the building.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's how you can bring new money into to the company. Absolutely true. But we know that people first want to have Lebowski solved. But yes, it's still in the planning, but it's in the fridge. And the fridge is full. Yeah.
You also run of the Bride of Pinball 2.0, another run?
You mean the kids?
The kid.
Yeah.
Yes. Be ready?
Yeah, we are working on a new badge for Europe. Europe only. Or, well, of course, in the US you can buy it, but you have to ship it to the US. So.
Yeah. So
Because, that
first Lebowski.
will be available soon.
First Lebowski, but the plan is really to also make a kit, because we get a lot of questions from people in Europe, and now they have to go to the US and import it again.
I get that, but you sell them directly, the old ones? You sold them directly?
We sold them directly first, and then we made a deal with Cointaker. That Cointaker builds them what is a vreselijk woord? Themselves. And they build them, they sell them. But for Europeans, it's a hell of a job to order it in the US and then bring it back. And so we got so many requests that we decided, okay, we will come up with a new badge. When I can't tell you, because Lebowski first.
The question was, do you sell them directly, or do you sell them?
Well, there's three answers. The first batch we sold directly.
Yeah.
The second batch was also sold directly, but was built by Pinball Live. And the third one was sold by Cointaker and built by Cointaker.
And the fourth one?
The fourth one, question mark.
Well, Cointaker also comes with a new badge.
But for Europe.
And for Europe, we will come with the Bride of Pinball kit, but we don't know. First, Lebowski. I repeat myself, but we don't want to be distracted now for, oh, let's work on the Bride of Pinball. No.
From now on,
First things first.
Lebowski first, yeah.
Lebowski first. Bride second.
I only want to know if you sell them directly.
I don't know yet.
Okay, that's fine.
Maybe if you want to do it and you come to us and you say, hey guys, I will make it for you. Cool. Why not? So we're open. We're open to that. But Lebowski first. I made that clear, I think.
Any chance Zytec will be involved in that Bride of Pinball kit?
Probably not.
No?
Probably not. No, it's too complicated to do that, and the batch is too small to go to outsource that in a different country and ship it over to here. So probably not. Any more?
Will Cytek also be able to do all the factory forming for the ramps and all the making of the toys and the wire only manufacturing?
They
Everything you see on the game on the right, all the sheet metal, all the vacuum forming, all the wire forms and assembly is all done by China. Of course, some of the pinball parts were imported because you know for
the playfield is
assemblies. The playfield is made by Mirko, yes. I think some of the printed artwork is also imported now from our current suppliers because of the speed we needed to assemble these machines. But eventually will also be sourced locally.
And for your future models?
we don't know yet.
We don't know yet, but probably if we're we'll be producing next games in China, and they will probably all be sourced locally.
Yeah, what you can source local, that's what you do. The cabinet is also made local, so all the wood, everything. So partly local, partly imported. So the pinball parts are from Pinball Life, like we used to. All right. One more from you.
From a Chinese manufacturer, I understood it's very difficult to import playfields and that kind of stuff. Is that an issue that you guys have run into?
Yeah, I heard it from Mike.
Yes.
Mike said that it was difficult to import stuff to China, and that is true. Some things are very difficult to import, like screws. It's your word. and you know, it's because they make screws in China, and they say, we don't allow any import of screws, and it's kind of defending their market. But the playfield, well, we had no issue in importing it. The pinball parts, we had no issue importing it, and we use, of course, Cytex experience and Cytex channels to do that. All right. So is that that's what our experience is.
Anybody else?
Any more? Or are we all good?
Yeah,
Then I would like to thank you very much for your attention. And you want to have the microphone?
Because I want to thank Barry and Jaap from Dutch Pinball. Please give it up for that presentation. We'll be back in